Proverbs 29:18. We've all heard this. Where there is no vision, the people will perish. Another translation actually says, instead of vision, it's revelation. So more accurately translated, it's revelation. Where there is no revelation. And so what happens is many times, if we even set a vision, we set a vision based on what we want, not what God is guiding us to in our lives. And so in this episode, I'm going to share with you the strategy that I use to gain vision from the Lord, which then directs my entire life. My name is Skylar Lewis, and this is the Christian Business Mentor Podcast. So let's talk about vision for a moment. So where there is no vision, the people will perish. I do a lot of talks around goal setting, but not a ton around vision. And vision is incredibly important. So your vision is the train tracks. Your goals are the destinations, right? Each destination that you're going to on your journey. But your train tracks actually show you where you will go ultimately. And then you are the train, and the conductor is your soul, right? What's your will, your spirit. And hopefully that conductor has the Bible in his hands at the entire time that he's on that journey. The train tracks actually keep you in alignment to your life purpose, to your vision. And so if you don't have a vision, the goals you set are going to be all over the place, and they might not take you where you want to go. You might set a financial goal that gets you excited, but that financial goal might take you off track of where you truly ultimately want to go. And so it's incredibly important to get clear on your vision, to get clear on your life vision. And I'm going to share with you the strategy that I use. And so vision is something that you can either get yourself, right? You can do it internally and get yourself, or you can involve God in that process. And as Christians, we are called to not rely on our own strength, but to rely on God's strength, right? We're going to operate from Christian wisdom, godly wisdom, versus worldly wisdom. Worldly wisdom says, go get what you want when you want it. Godly wisdom states, God will guide you. Trust the Lord. Lean into Him for guidance and direction. And so what I do is every year, right, I do this on a yearly basis in late November, early December, I actually go out and I set out a day aside and I go spend time with the Lord. I like to go travel somewhere, do it somewhere in nature, just one-on-one time with God. And so I'll make sure that I leave my cell phone in the car or in the hotel room. Critically important. You don't need your cell phone, don't bring it. So you have to have some type of exercise that gets you alone to where you can allow the creative juices to flow and the connection with God to flow. Again, you can do this on a more regular basis, but I do this annually. So I leave my phone in the hotel room or the car, and I bring my Bible, I bring my journal, and I bring my pen. And what I do is I go out into nature and I pray and I read. Right? That could be 30 minutes, could be an hour, it could be an hour and a half. I'm spending time in nature connecting with God. And so what happens is after I feel that connection, as I feel myself being present and more grounded and not worrying about the worries of business and life, then I take out my journal and I start writing. I write out my 5-year vision, I write out my 3-year vision, and I write out my 1-year vision. So the 5-year vision, right, typically states it's future-based. So how it usually starts is it's December 31st, 2025. This has been the best year of my life. I've killed it in business. I'm connected with God more than I ever have. Rise Up Kings is just blessing me beyond what I ever thought it was capable of. The relationships in my life are fulfilling. So I'm writing it from that perspective. I hope you're enjoying this video. I'm the founder of Rise Up Kings, the largest faith-based personal development organization in the country. And it's our mission to reach as many people as possible to help them live lives of excellence, all to glorify God. We do this through our content that you're watching now. We do this through our seminars. So if you're enjoying this, please subscribe and share. Let's get back to the video. And so I'm reading it as if I wrote it. I'm writing it as if I wrote it in the future. And so I write the entire thing out that way. And so what I'm doing is I'm getting clear on who I will become, like what's happened, but I'm also getting clear on who I will become, right? So who have I become over the last 5 years? I am disciplined. I've become a disciplined man. I've become relationally focused. My connection with God is better than it's ever been before. So I'm really clear on who I've become. And then I go into setting goals around the 4 pillars. So I'll get very clear on what my faith looked like. How many people did I lead to Christ? Did I launch a Bible study? How am I discipling and training and developing other people in the kingdom? How's my relationship with God? How much of the Bible have I read? For how long was I reading the Bible? I get very granular on the results that I produced. And I do that in my faith, and I do that in my family, right? What kind of time am I spending with my wife? What kind of vacations am I going on with the family? How am I doing mentoring my boys? Hey, I was mentoring them every week that entire year, or for the last 5 years, or whatever that looks like. And then we move into fitness. Like, what's your body weight? What's your body fat percentage? How often are you working out? Like, get really clear on the vision of how you are going to be operating in that 5 years, 3 years, and 1 year. And then also in business. Business is going to be the easiest one, right? I've generated X amount in revenue or sales and profitability. This is how big my team is. These are the verticals that I went after. I mean, really get clear on your business vision in 5 years. And for some of you, it's going to be difficult to really think 5 years ahead. It is for me, but I like to dream. Allow yourself to dream. So the key here is to make sure that you don't focus on the how. The how will get you stuck. This is an opportunity to dream. This is an opportunity to build your vision. This is an opportunity to think big. I mean, as big as you can possibly think. Do that during this vision strategy session. It's important that you don't go, well, I don't know how I'm going to do that. Who cares? If that's what God is putting on your heart, if that's what you feel inspired, if you believe that will bring fulfillment, right? Lean into that, think big, and then trust that the mechanism, the how, will show up. And so don't think about the how. So I go through each of the 4 pillars, and then I also add fun. Like, hey, what was the fun that I had? What was the time I went, maybe I went skydiving or did a certain amount of vacations with friends or went whitewater rafting. Like, what were the specific things I did that year, right? That specific year. So for next year, this November, right, I'm going to be going out and doing this for 2025. What I'm going to be doing for fun, like how I'm going to stay filled up and keeping my cup filled up. And so once you do that, once you write out your 5, your 3, your 1 year, and it's an amazing opportunity. So I highly recommend doing it. For some of you guys, you might need to go a little longer. I have a client that he shared with me. It took him a half a day just to even get his mindset right, because he was so focused on business. He had a hard time disconnecting from that. So you may need a day and a half. Overnights are fantastic, right? And your wife may say, hey, that's a little extreme. You're leaving me and the family. Go leave. Go stay overnight somewhere, wake up in the morning, go out in nature, and go spend some time with God, getting clear on what you want your life to look like and what God wants your life to look like. So once you do that, you're going to then review it on a regular basis. So what does that look like? It could look like monthly. It could look like reviewing it weekly. Maybe you don't have to read the entire thing. Mine are typically about 2 pages long, 2 full about 4 journal pages long for each year. So if I do my 5-year vision, it's going to be about 3 to 4 journal pages long. And I put it on a Word doc, and I have all of those saved for the last 10 years. I have all of my 5-year, 1-year, 3-year visions, and I have my affirmations saved. I save each one of those in a folder per year. And so they're typically about a Word doc, a page long-ish. You can read that weekly, or you can just specifically read the goals that you set for the next year. But at least reading your 5-year once a month or once a quarter. So you want to regularly see these things, and you'll be surprised at what happens. God shows up, the mechanism shows up, the how shows up, and just by you getting clear, you start to see opportunities. You start to find opportunities to live into that vision. So I want to challenge you. If you don't have a vision clarified on paper, go get clear. You don't even have to wait till this November or December. If you don't have a clear vision, don't waste any more time. Go spend time with God and go get clear on what the next year, 3, 5, 10, 20 years, you can go as far as you want, is going to look like. It'll create a sense of fulfillment. As you're writing this, it'll create some inspiration, and then it'll give you a clear path. It'll set the train tracks in place of something that you can go after and go achieve and go live into that vision. It's less about the achievement of it. It's more about who you become on the journey of living out that vision. All right, if you're getting value from this podcast, please share this. This is the only way we're getting this out right now. We're not doing advertising for it. It's my hope that I'm dropping some value. And if you're getting value, share it, subscribe, forward it to some friends, text it to some friends. I appreciate all of your support. Let's go build businesses and lives that glorify God.